my fellow comic book collectors. This is going to be an unboxing, and it's actually a second attempt at an unboxing. I actually just thought I recorded it, and I realized I didn't press the record button. So I just did this really awesome video. It'll never be seen. But I basically showed this comic being unboxed. It is a really awesome comic, and I wish the original recording had recorded. It was actually really, I said a lot of cool things. But at least you don't have to watch me pulling out all the papers and stuff. It's a very quick unboxing because all I have to do is take the slab out because I already know what's inside. And this is a really great book. Actually, when I got it, I actually forgot that this was on its way. And when I saw the customs, I was like shocked. I was like, oh my goodness, why is the customs so high? It was $70 worth of customs on this book because it came from the US. And I was like, oh man, like $70 for customs, why so high? Actually, I told the guy that sold it to me to kind of mark it as a gift, but I guess it didn't work. But this is a really great comic. It is one that actually I got a pretty good deal on it. Like usually it goes for 2 to 3 times what I paid. I paid about $1,000 for it. And it is one that is kind of an interesting book because it was kind of a mixture of 2 paths that I had sort of taken. So what happened was I collect Miss Mask. Everyone like that watches my channel has probably heard me going on about Miss Mask. It's just a character from the Golden Age that I really enjoy, and I try to get her, her appearances. And one of the comics that she made her appearance in is a comic called Fighting Yank. Now, so I was kind of looking at the Fighting Yank books a lot. And another thing was I had done one of my Friday challenges where I basically talked about Nazi covers, like, books that have like crazy Nazi covers. Like I mentioned Hensi and all these kind of cool Nazi covers because I, like everyone else, think the Nazis were idiots. So just so you know. I like things where there's the war propaganda covers, especially about the Nazis. So that is what led me to this book, and where it is a combination of the 2 things, where I was kind of looking at this one series called Fighting Yank and looking at these Nazi covers. And this is one of the best Nazi covers from the Fighting Yank series. So this is Fighting Yank number 10, and I'm just going to try to hopefully get some of the glare off. It is just a great book. This is just so many things going on this one book, and it's one that's highly sought after by collectors. So what's going on this book? So we got one of the kings of the Golden Age in terms of artists, Alex Schomburg. And Alex Schomburg is famous for, doing the artwork on Captain America. He's also famous for his war propaganda covers. And his war propaganda covers are some of the best. They're just like so extreme. And collectors of the Golden Age like those extreme elements. So they like the most brutal, the most gory, the most violent, the most horrific, they like elements of bondage. They like all these kind of things. And Schomburg was sort of a master of all those elements. And he would try to use those elements to kind of showcase how evil either the Japanese or the Germans were. And this is a really great example of that. And these has like so many elements that collectors will look for. So collectors will look for anything that kind of identifies it as a World War II cover. So if there's Nazi symbols, that's right off the bat, that's going to command a premium because they want that World War II association. And so we got a whole bunch of cool things. We got the Nazi flag in the back. We got a whole bunch of Nazi soldiers. And we even have like the sign, the Gestapo. Everyone knows about the Gestapo. And then we got all of the torture elements in this cover. This cover has like so many things of torture. It's just like some of like this is not maybe one of the most crazy covers that he has done, but it has a lot of things going on it. So we got the guy in bondage, right here, and he's just pinned down. He's got like these weird clamps on his wrists, and he's like even gagged. Like he's just like he's in a real like they're not interrogating him, they're torturing him. It's normally if you're doing this kind of stuff and you're like stabbing or whatever you're trying to do, you want the person to talk and reveal some information. They don't even want them to talk, they just want to torture them. So that it's that kind of sadistic thing that they're really trying to paint the Nazis as evil as possible, because this is a war propaganda cover and it's kind of cool that way. So his neck is bound, his shirt is ripped, and we got the evil doctor coming over. And what does the evil doctor have? It's just like, I'm not even sure how a doctor would have this kind of stuff. He's got a knife in one hand, and then he's got a hypodermic needle in the other. Now, hypodermic needles, in terms of Golden Age collectibles, is really, really key. Like, collectors will search for books that either contain a hypodermic needle, like somewhere in a panel or something like that. It's like lingerie panels. They'll search for that as well. But hypodermic needles are really key. So having it on the cover, that means that the book will command a huge premium, just huge premium, because it's pretty rare and it's pretty extreme. So that is one thing that collectors will definitely look for. Now we got some other elements going on. So the hypodermic needle, huge. Bondage, huge. But we got some more things. We got the hot pokers. So over here, you'll see that there's the hot pokers. Another thing collectors will look for. There's some really key Golden Age books where what sells the cover, what makes that cover popular and sought after by collectors, is the hot poker. So it'll be like right up to somebody's face or something like that, where they're going to burn them or brand them or something like that. So those kind of things collectors will look for. Now, another thing that this cover just has, like, so many, like, they're very subtle a lot, actually. As I said, this is pretty subtle, actually. It's just sort of on the side, but it's there, right? Then you also have on the table all these instruments of torture. You got a hacksaw. It's so crazy, over the top kind of thing. You got poison. I mean, it's like, it's like all these kind of things of, torture on the cover, that they're going to do to this poor American soldier. And then we got, the one guy over here yelling commands as, so we got a whole story happening here. We got the guys being tortured, and then we have Fighting Yank, which is this guy right here, jumping through the window, and all chaos is happening. He's smacking the doctor. You can see the doctor getting punched, which is always another thing that they search for. When somebody punches a Nazi, that's another key collected thing. And then we got all these Nazis around ready to attack, ready to shoot him or whatever. It's just chaos and interesting things going on. One more kind of key element that is on this cover that collectors will definitely look for is this right down in the corner, which says war bonds. So, and war stamps. Okay. So buy war bonds and stamps for victory. Okay. That kind of thing, collectors will look for. They're even if the cover is just war bonds. Like if you have like some superhero trying to sell war bonds, which is actually pretty common in the Golden Age, that will command a premium because collectors will look for that. They look for those like war related, patriotic kind of elements. So this is Fighting Yank number 10. And as I said, I paid about $1,000 for it. It typically goes for $2,000 to $3,000. I worked out a pretty great deal. It's from 1944, which is just at the end of that, Second World War. It's a Alex Schomburg cover. Alex Schomburg, as I said, he's famous for Captain America. He did these kind of at the end of his career, end of his World War II career, he was doing all these kind of war propaganda covers, and then he later into the after the war, he was doing like kind of good girl art. And after that, he sort of dropped out of the comics altogether and started doing magazines like sci-fi pulp and like covers. So he kind of disappeared for a while from the comic scene. But he is considered one of the premier artists from the Golden Age, and just a really great artist. So this is it's a 3.5, and it's a pretty great grade. What else does it say? So on the cover it says bondage torture cover, hypodermic needle cover, and Ed Mortiz art, Alex Schomburg cover. And this has got another thing going for it. It's white to off-white pages, which is pretty high page quality for a Golden Age book. So that has been my unboxing, and I tried to make it a little bit more detailed in terms of what I was looking for when I purchased this book, so that because it's just the one book, I kind of like to do that when I only show one book, just give you a little bit more insight. And I hope you enjoy that. So if you like me doing just one book at a time like this, tell me in the comments below. If you prefer the big unboxings where I like literally take out hundreds of books and it's like rapid fire, tell me if you like those. So I'd like to hear people's feedback. And what do you think about the Nazi covers? Some people get offended by them, and I actually I see it as a really important thing, because we have to kind of remember the past, remember some of the evils that did happen in the past, and never make those same mistakes in the future. So, I find them interesting. It's part of our history that we have to remember. So again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.